Hey everyone, Brandon Quinn here, thanks for joining. Today we're going to play through the Hexakai daily puzzle from December 15th, which is going to be on a board of size 10 rated at medium difficulty. If you're new to the game, Hexakai is essentially a Sudoku-inspired game of hexagons. It's played on a diamond-shaped board, as you can see here. Similar to Sudoku, every value in each row has to be unique, but unlike Sudoku, we have two diagonal directions instead of just one column, and those also have to have all unique values. Every value appears exactly once. I have more on that in the description below, as well as strategies on how to play the game. If you want to play the board for yourself first, I do have that in the description as well, or you can always go to the Android and iOS apps and play the board from there. So with that, let's jump in. I'm going to zoom out and see what we're working with here. It looks like some of the diagonals are almost entirely filled in, which is going to help us. The center row also only has 4 out of 10 missing, which is nice. I think actually I'm going to start with the center row. If I can get everything filled in there right off the bat, that'll make things a lot smoother to solve the rest of the board. So let's see what's missing here. 1, 3, 5, and 7 are missing. So I'll zoom in a little bit just to make it easier to read. 1, 3, 5, 7. There's a 1 and a 5, leaving 3 and a 7. So I'll pencil that in, 3 and 7 as possible values there. So 1, 3, and 7 are possible here. 1, 3, 7. 1, 5. So this one has to be a 7. We ruled out the 1, 3, and 5 elsewhere. So I marked that as green there. It kind of blends into the background a little bit. I actually just created this theme. I'm going to go update that real quick to make it a little bit more visible. Okay, there we go. So we can see that a little bit better now. So that's a 7. I can remove 7 from both of these, which means this one has to be a 3 here. That's the only value remaining. So let me get rid of the pencil marking. And now this one has to be a 1. That's the only value remaining there, leaving this one as a 5. Yep. Okay, so we got the center row done. Let's see what else we can do here. This diagonal here only has 3 missing, and it's pretty close to the center of the board. I'm going to do that one next. So same thing as before. We'll see what's missing, and then we'll try to fill them in. So there's a 1, a 5, and a 9 missing. Let me just double check that. Yep, 1, 5, 9. So right here there's a 1 and a 9, so right off the bat that has to be a 5, leaving 1 and 9. We can't fill those in yet. There's not enough information on the board, but we got the 5 at least, which is definitely a good thing to have there. So there's a few different things we could do at this rate. I'm going to do this one next. This is a board on a medium difficulty, so most of what we're going to be doing here is just identifying which values are missing in each diagonal or the center row, or there's some more advanced strategies with the other rows, but we probably won't need those. So we identify what's missing, and then we just try to fill those in, and then over time we can kind of get partial or total diagonal completions that kind of go into other diagonals, intersecting diagonals, back and forth until we have the entire thing solved. So that's what we're doing here. Let's go back here and see what's missing. 0, 1, 6 are missing. 0, 1, and 6. So there's a 6 there and a 1 there. So this one's definitely a 0. Leaving a 1 and a 6. There's a 6 there. So we have a 1 and we have a 6. Not bad. Now here there's only 2 missing. So let's knock those out. 7 and 9 are missing. There's a 7 there, making that one a 9. Making this one a 7. And what we just talked about, rows and diagonals kind of going into intersecting diagonals, that just happened. We have a 9 here now, so this one can't be a 9. This one has to be a 1. So we've just solved that one, and now here we've also solved this one. It can't be a 1 anymore, so it has to be a 9. So by completing this diagonal, we were also able to complete this diagonal, which is very nice to have there. So moving on. By the way, especially for puzzles beyond medium difficulty, difficult and ultra difficult, selecting which diagonals and rows to do first. If you select them carefully and put good decision making into them, you can save yourself a lot of time down the line. I have more on diagonal and row selections in my strategies post, which I've linked in the description below, but that's what I'm trying to apply those strategies now. A good rule of thumb is try to pick things that are closer to the center, have more cells in the central rows. So with that, I'm going to pick this one. This one has a cell there, but more importantly, most of it's in the center row and most of it's complete. So it should be easy to just knock the 2 remaining cells out. So a 0 is missing, and 3. Yep, 0 and 3. I'll mark those in now, 0, 3. I actually think we can't yet fill those in, mainly because there's so little information here and here. Yep, we can't, but that's right, we can always come back to that. Maybe we can complete it the way we completed this diagonal just now. For now, there's a few different things. I could do this one. I'll probably have some luck with that one. I'm going to do that one next. So, again, let's see what's missing. 2, 7, 8. 2, 7, 8. There's a 7 here, so this one's going to be a 2 or an 8. 8. This is going to be a 2 or a 7. There's a 2 there. And this one can be, therefore, a 7 or 8. There wasn't anything else I could do to eliminate possibilities there, so... Actually, I'm a little bit surprised by that, just because this is almost complete. There's only 2 remaining. But we also know this one is missing a 7 or an 8. There's a 7 here, so it has to be an 8. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Yep. So this one has to be an 8. Which makes this one here definitely a 7. Which makes this one have to be a 2 because 7 is no longer on the table. And here 2 is no longer on the table, so it has to be an 8. So, we got another diagonal done. And that means now this one only has 3 missing. This one still has 4. I'm going to try something. When you're not dealing with the central row, or any of the diagonals, like I'm looking at this row for example, there's only 9 cells here, even though there's 10 possible values, right? 0 through 9. So there's 2 cells missing, but there's actually 3 values missing in this row. So we can't exactly treat it like a normal row. But if I can figure out which value definitely can't be in that row at all, then I can exclude that and then treat it like it's a normal row, like it's the central row, that is. So I'm going to try that here. So we're going to see what's missing and then see if I can filter anything out. 1, 2, and 7. 1, 2, 7. So there's a 1 there and a 1 there. So it can't be any of those. So we know the possible values are 2 and 7. Now we can proceed as if it's a normal diagonal or a central row. So first I'll just pencil those in. That'll be good to have for reference even if we can't filter anything. There's a 2 there, so this one has to be a 7. Making this one definitely a 2. Alright, so it's good to knock that out. Now this one, this is a prime example of a central diagonal. A lot of the cells are clustered toward the center. So I'm going to do this one next. There's only 3 missing now, so let's see what's missing. 0, 2, and 3. 0, 2, 3. There's a 0 there, a 2 there, so this one has to be a 3. Leaving 0 and 2. 0, so this one has to be a 2. Making this one a 0. Now a good thing here, now that that's a 0, this one can't be 0. So it has to be a 3. That's the only possible value remaining. And then this one, therefore, has to be a 0. So with that, we've just completed 2 diagonals for the price of 1. That's why it's good to use the pencil marking feature. You can kind of go back and make definite assignments later on, like we've done a few times already. So let's zoom out. The board's getting there. There's still some cells left, but we made some good progress. So moving on. This one only has 2 remaining. Maybe we can just knock that one out. 3 and 9. Yeah, 3 and 9. So I'll pencil those in. There's a 9 there. That one has to be a 3. And then this one has to be a 9. We can probably just knock this one out next, the one next to it. Same process as before. 0, 7, 9. 0, 7, 9. There's a 0 and a 7, so that's a 9. Leaving 0 and 7, there's a 0 there, so that's a 7. And that one, therefore, is a 0. Next, we can probably knock out this one. I'm kind of going in a back and forth so that we can stay close to the center, make things a little bit smoother as we proceed. So what's missing here? 2, 3, and 5. 2, 3, 5. There's a 2 and a 3 there, so that one's definitely a 5. There's a 3 there, so that one's a 2. And this one is a 3. I'll knock out this one next. There's only 2 there. 2 missing, that is. 0 and 3. There's a 3 right next to that, so that's a 0, and that's a 3. There's probably enough information on the board that I can solve this in 3 goes. That diagonal, this one, and then even though there's 5 missing, that one. Usually I try to do diagonals with less missing, but if the entire rest of the board is completed, we can knock that out in one go. No problem, even on a medium board. At that difficulty, I mean. So as usual, what's missing here? 1, 4, 6. Yep, 1, 4, 6. 6, 1, so that's a 4. There's a 1 there, making this one a 6, making this one a 1. Next, this one here. 1, 2, and 7. 1, 2, 7. 7, 2, there's that, so that's automatically a 1. 2 there, making this one a 7. Making this one here a 2. And last but not least, this one which has 5 missing. When you do diagonals with more missing, you just have to make sure to keep all of the missing values in your head at the same time. That can get a little bit tricky if you're new to the game, or playing on board sizes you're not used to. So here we have 1, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8, 4. So this one's a 1. That leaves 4, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be a 4, 7. 7, 6, 4, 8. That one's definitely an 8. That leaves 4, 6, and 7. So let's see what we have. Well, there's a 7 and a 6 here. I can just make that a 4. Which makes this one a 7. Which makes this one a 6. So that should be everything. I'll zoom out to make sure. I don't think we made any mistakes, but I think that's what everyone says when they play boards like this. So I'm going to submit it and see how we do. Nice, there we go. Okay, so we completed it about 25 minutes, maybe a little bit less. I had the board set up a little bit before I began. If you have any questions about that playthrough, please leave a comment below. I'll be happy to take a look. And other than that, if you made it to the end, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please be sure to check out the book and the apps linked in the description below, as well as the write-up on strategies. And stay tuned for more playthroughs. Until then, thanks for watching.